All right, everybody, we are going to get into Photoshop. So if you go down to your bottom Start Program, you're going to look for Adobe Production Premium, and we are using Adobe Photoshop CS 5.1. If you don't have Photoshop already down on the bottom of your computer, if you go to Start, find Adobe, and if you hold your mouse down, you can pull it and drag it down onto your bottom bar. I already have that. So this is what Photoshop looks like. If you're new to Photoshop, on the left-hand side, this is called the Tools palette. Those are all the tools that you're going to use to edit your photography. When you click on a tool in the tool palette, you'll notice that this changes up on top. This right here is called the Options bar. And this changes depending on what tool you will use. So if I use my text tool, you can see that I can change the font, I can change the size of the font, and even the color that I'm going to be using. So on the left-hand side is the tool palette. Right underneath here is called the option bar. And on top, where you can find File, Edit, Image, Window, that's an important one, that is the menu bar. On your menu bar, if you click on Window, you're going to want to set up a workspace. We want the workspace to be set up for photography. That way we have our navigator. That's a really important tool for photography. It allows you to zoom in and out of a photograph. We should have our history palette. That tells us everything that we have been doing, so we can go backwards and kind of compare what we've been doing to the first original photograph, and then down at the bottom is your layers box. To open up, the first step you're going to be doing in Photoshop is to make a hallway pass. So if you go to File, you're going to click on Open, and you are going to click on your desktop and go into the iDrive. Find Gale, Photo A, and it's going to be the blue blank student pass. You can see it says PSD behind it. That means it's an Adobe Photoshop document. You will be allowed to go out in the hallways and take pictures as long as you have your hallway pass with you. When we click on the navigator, you can see I can kind of zoom in to make it a little bit larger. If I want, you can see you have to have your name, your hour, and Gale there, but if I click on the eye, I can take that away so I can really focus on the picture. This does have a grid on it, so if I go up to View, there we go, View, and click on Extras, that will take away that grid. So now we have our blank student pass picture. Couple tools that you're going to need to know right up on top. This tool with the arrow is called the Move tool. If you float your mouse over the tools palette, the pictures will appear. So the Move tool allows you to move pictures. The fourth tool down, this is the Quick Selection tool. If you right click on it, the Quick Selection tool shares the spot with a magic wand. Fifth tool down, this is our Crop tool. So you're going to learn how to crop and adjust a composition. For editing pictures, especially with people, we're going to use the Healing Brush, the Patch tool, and the Red Eye tool. Those can all be found in that Band-Aid in the tool palette. We do use the Clone Stamp. That's very helpful. Sometimes we need to use the eraser. I don't know too much about the background eraser tool, but I learn. I'm going to have you do a little bit of work with the Gradient tool and the Paint Bucket tool for your name tag. And we'll use the Dodge, Burn, and Sponge. The Dodge lightens an area of the photograph, the Burn darkens an area, and the Sponge builds up the saturation so it's a little bit brighter. We will be using some text with our social justice piece. So there you can see you can have horizontal or vertical text. And that's about it. So that is kind of a basic introduction to Photoshop. what tools are in the tool palette, where you can find the option bar, the menu bar, and how to use the navigator and the little eyes on the layers. We'll get more into it as we start making our name tag.